a lot of that kind of work. And so if you're looking for someone to support you, I am here for you. And just know that no matter what you believe in, this conversation is here for you. I was called to, well, actually, they came to me last night saying, well, let's talk about us. So I was here to talk about how the spirits around us, not necessarily the human spirits, it's more the spirit of angels, the spirit of Mother Mary, the spirit of Jesus, the spirit of a lot of different knowings. And there is all these amazing things. And Veronica, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you so much for supporting me and everything that you're doing. And I know that you are a busy woman and you don't have to worry about anything that you do or don't do. Okay. Because I know that you love me and I know that that's going to work out. So blessings to you. And as we go forth, and I got to stop here because Veronica, you've been just amazing in supporting me. And I know that I have supported you. And we've all gone through so much together. So I did that squirrel moment for a moment because I just wanted to give that moment a chance to say thank you, Veronica. And Veronica has helped me grow, and I know that I've helped her grow. And so with that there's many blessings that come from all this knowing. And she's typed in, oh, thank you. That she has become so spiritual in her knowings, going from where she was at to where she's going. And I am grateful for all that she's going towards and how she navigates her life now because she's done an amazing job. I can only be grateful for the people that I've been able to help because of the fact that everyone has had their own personal story to work through. And I know that I too have had my own personal story to work through. And the awareness that comes from our own personal story, there's so much to learn from it. And I know for me, I could not be me without the help of the angels that support me, my personal guides that support me. Mother Mary, she's been extremely gifted in my life on how she's helped me. Jesus, even. And, the amazingness is the fairies. They didn't want to be left out either because they had fun on Monday's show on Dance of the Soul. And, they kind of squirted me around about how I wanted to talk about spirits because it was All Saints Day. And yet we didn't have a chance to talk about that because of the fact that the fairies kind of took over. And then Regan came in and then he had problems with the conversation or with his cough. And then here the fairies wanted to talk about it. So today I was thinking that, we all have these stories of where we're at, where we're going. Well, I can tell you one specific night that happened. Oh, it was probably at least 10, 15 years ago. Around 10 years ago now. And it's like it happened yesterday. And this was a moment that my husband, well, actually, I'm going to name two of these because these were both times where I'm going to go personal here. And I hope my husband forgives me for this. But yet at the same time, though, these personal stories a little bit may help you in this walk of life. Well, there's these nights where, due to something he could not control, okay, I want to know that. I want everyone to know this, that he could not control this because of the fact that he was addicted to something. And it was called alcohol. And he now is 9 years sober. I'm so grateful. Next September, we're going to celebrate the Big 10. Yes. And he has grown to be the man I always wanted to be married to. Yet at the same time, though, as we all walk through life and as we all go through life, there's these times in our lives where things happen the way we don't want them to. And to this day, I don't even know if he remembers because he was so drunk. And this is not calling him bad. Like I said, he could not control. So one night in this home, we were having a big moment, and it was not comfortable for me. And I went to bed because it was the only place I could go. And I was crying because of that moment. Now, this was 10 years, I'm fine now, and I was fine after. But there's these times when in every relationship we come to these crossroads. These crossroads where the big bang happens and life happens. In any relationship, parents, siblings, whatever, big bang moment. This is one of those moments. Well, I'm going to speak about two of them. And that moment where we got into something big, and what I ended up doing was crying. And at this time, I was not as aware. I mean, I was in classes, I was doing my intuitive work. I wasn't necessarily doing this intuitive work at this moment, but I was always one that was coming out of being myself. And about 10 years ago is when I really kind of cracked the egg open and started moving forward on it. That at that moment, as I was crying, I called in Mother Mary. Now, Mother Mary, she's mom, for one. She's walked a lot of our lives. She's walked a lot of life in that short time that she was mom to Jesus. She does not care at all who, what, where, when we believe in. She doesn't care what we've done. She doesn't care about anything besides showing you grace, love, and guidance. So I want you to know that. So us, well, I can say I had a mom, but those of us humans that do not have a mom, believe you do have a mom. And she's called Mother Mary. She's not at all what the religions talk about. Yet, in a way, she is in a form of that. Yet they, in some ways in the Bible, and if you hear my dog barking, I apologize. If you are in the moment of believing everything that you read in the Bible, then you're going to get a little bit of a tainted moment of Mother. Mother was very human. Mother Mary was very human, and as she processed this and as she walked. And I have a friend who channels her quite well, so I've heard many stories from her. And I know quite a few stories via my interaction with her personally. Well, going to this night, I was in distress. I knew that the way my mind was going, I would not sleep for hours. And I had to go do my job the next day. And I was in the moment where, oh, oh, oh. And in that moment, as I laid there, I asked for divine help. I asked for help. I didn't know who was going to come. I just said, I just need help. I need to be able to sleep. I need something. All of a sudden, I felt a loving hand rubbing my face like this, as a mother does. And I bet you within maybe 5 or 6 strokes, I was out, asleep. And I know that she was there because of the fact that in my knowing, in my intuitive knowing, that I felt her standing there energetically and felt this. And I can tell you that you, even if you're not intuitive, can feel a lot the same thing because of the fact that when she's around, all you feel is love. That love is divine love. And I'm going to tell you that as soon as you put her on her pedestal, she's going to tell you, get me the heck off of it. Because of the fact that she does not want to be on a pedestal. Okay. And she is over my shoulder here. So that's her. You know, I've got other representations of her around the room because that she is so strong in my life. And Mother, do you see the glow around her in that light? That's kind of purposeful because of the fact that that's her glow. That's her energetic glow. That as she glows right here, that she glows with the love of divine love. Now, she has not come back in human form because of the fact that she is mother to the universe. So if you talk about angels, the angels call her mom too, and nobody messes with her. When mom's in the house, nobody messes with her. Archangel Michael will even tell you that. I ain't messing with mom, because mom is grace. And you don't mess with grace. You don't mess with divine love that way either. And I want you to know that when you're feeling troubled, ached, sorrowful, whatever, call upon her, because she's there. Like I said, she doesn't worry about what you've done, been, where you've gone. All she cares about is helping. So if you feel something around you and it's lovable, she puts her hands on your shoulders, she'll even just stand there. And oh my gosh, if you want to go shopping and you want to get some deals, call upon her. There we go. There we go. Backwards. Call upon Mother, because of the fact that as we go through life, she is one of the best shoppers. She'll whisper to you, go in there, go in that store right there. And if you follow the guidance, just those inspirations that pop in your head, those little inspirations that pop in your head, you'll find maybe that one thing that you may not know that you needed it, but probably in a week, you'll go, oh, that's why I ended up getting it. But you never know. So Mother Mary right there is a gift. Knowing that no matter where you're at, she'll meet you. So believe when you feel that. Oh, and if you smell roses, that's another sign that she's around, because roses is her thing. She also, because of the fact that she lived many lifetimes before being mom to Jesus, yet at the same time, though, she did not really come back after that, because of the fact that, well, Jesus needed support too. And she lived a lot during that time. Now, she's not a virgin by any means before she had Jesus, but yet at the same time, Jesus was meant to be Jesus. He was meant to be divine. He was meant to be here and live one lifetime. That's why he went through so much. Did you know that his body had many ailments in just the short time that he was alive? So Jesus is another one who he doesn't care. He doesn't care. And that wisdom that Jesus can come in with and be with you. Now, I know people who have crossed over or have had a meditation, and Jesus have met them. And Jesus, all I can say is there's love, because that's what he does. That's what he does. Now, there was a time when I was trying to meditate, and I was laying in bed, and he goes, Natasha, my dear, just give up. You're not going to meditate today. And that's the way he talks. He just talks with that grace and that love. And I know that I had a friend that she works really hand in hand with Jesus, and she just knows that there's just this divine love. So I wouldn't worry about what Jesus looks like or anything like that, because when I see him with just grace. He's holding grace for everyone. The wisdom that he came through with that lifetime. Now, I'm going to tell you a little secret that Jesus, yes, had that cross episode, but he lived on longer than 3 days. Now, this is something I believe in now. Remember, if you don't believe in it, that's okay. This is just something that I know. And we have many descendants from Jesus, because Mother Magdalene and him got together. And Mary Magdalene was not the sinner that she was. She was actually a pretty darn strong woman who knew her place and how to walk forward. And Mary Magdalene was nothing that men of the Bible wrote about her or different belief systems. And so with that she was one of those that her and Mother Mary were blessed to know each other in that moment. And this is they're actually showing me what happened during that time right now. And it's just amazing how when one woman can support another in love, that is the greatest blessing we can all have. Knowing that no matter where we're at, those two women and a man, Jesus, can support us through the walks that we do. Now, I can tell you that no matter where you're at, and I'm going to keep repeating that, you have help. So when you feel that divine love behind you, those that are aware, I can feel Jesus behind me now, standing behind me. And if you can see that, feel that, trust it. Because he's showing you what love is. Because he's showing it through me. And when you feel that love, you get kind of in that moment. Because it's just so clear. It's just so clear. It's just so pure. So with that, now we're going to go on because thank you, Jesus, for showing you are there. Sorry. Love, pure love. Okay, so with that, now let's go to the angels. The angels. The angels. You know, I've been watching Lucifer on Netflix. If you guys have watched Lucifer on Netflix, it's a pretty interesting twist on angels and Lucifer and that whole network of Father, the higher power God, whoever you want to choose to believe in. Well, I'm not going to say everything in Lucifer is true, but I'm saying there's some truth in it. Okay. For one, let's go straight to Archangel Michael because he makes his rounds and he helps a lot of people and he works through things. Archangel Michael. If you watched Michael with John Travolta, that is Archangel Michael almost to a T. He is far from wanting to be on a pedestal. He is nothing of what, well, you know, a lot of religions put them in white robes, standing tall on a pedestal. They're here to help you, but yet you have to come to them. They're not going to come to you. Far from the truth. For one, Archangel Michael, he likes his cowboy boots. He truly likes his cowboy boots. And like he said one time to me, Natasha, you asked me not to kick you with them, so I'm not going to. The truth about Archangel Michael, though, is he does hold a sword. He holds a fiery sword. And that sword, when it goes to fire, he's going to protect you like no tomorrow. And many times he gives you his own sword to you to use. Because he wants you to learn to navigate through your own battles. Archangel Michael also loves beer. He loves to have fun. He loves to navigate through life. So Archangel Michael is the one that kicks you, gets you going, let's get moving. Like one time I was driving and all of a sudden the radio on my car, the volume went down and then back up again and down and back up again and then down and back up again. And I went, and when I turn the volume, I get the little thing that goes across that says what channel I'm on and what station I'm at and what volume it's at. None of that happened, even though my volume went down and up, down and up. And I said, okay, who's here? Archangel Michael. Time for you to start teaching classes, my dear, I heard. I said, oh, okay. We'll make it available for you. Okay. I will trust. Because at this time, I was at the crossroads of trusting my own voice. Can I stand in front of people and teach my classes that I felt I wanted to? Could I trust that my dyslexic part of me could speak? At this point, I was at that crossroads in myself of saying, am I worthy of standing in front of somebody else to say some worthy words? Well, he made it possible, and I was. Now, those classes didn't last very long because of the place where I was teaching them. It shut down. The stepping stone that he put in front of me was a stepping stone for what I'm doing today. I'm so grateful. So if you feel that little poke in your life to get moving, if you feel that emotional like tug and pull, it's time to get moving. If you're feeling that brush of just like, oh, I'm not gonna say he slaps you around, but it's that energetic whoop, get you moving. That's Archangel Michael helping you. Okay, so then Archangel Michael has a brother, Raphael. They're all brothers and sisters, and they call me sister because of the network that I am and the angel that I am. They call me sister, and I'm honored by that. So you have Michael and Raphael. Well, Raphael is the angel of Reiki. He's the angel of healing. He's the angel of love and grace. Well, Raphael helps many. So Michael is kind of the color of what I'm wearing today, that reddish color. And Raphael's more like the purplish colors, the green colors, because he's about Reiki healing. Okay. As we go through life and managing, these angels will be here to help you. So now I'm going to go back to another story that I was going to tell you. Remember, I told you I was going to tell you 2 stories of my life where I felt help. Well, the first one was when Mother Mary, remember, rubbed my face and had me sleep within probably 2 or 3, 4 strokes of her on my face. This other time was when it was the holidays and we were down in Florida at my mother-in-law's, and Rick was, my husband was, sorry, I should have named him. My husband was very, he was having a hard time. And we got in a fight. And it was quite embarrassing because we were at their house and everyone could hear us. He didn't care because he was not in his right mind. He was taken over by something that was not him. And I know this man had a very caring heart. He just had this addiction called alcohol. I finally made it to the garage because I felt that if we got in a fight there, it would be at least a little bit more contained than in the house because we were in just a bedroom and it was a 1-floor story house. That at least in the garage we would have some privacy. Well, I sat down and I did this because I was just so embarrassed and crying and just didn't know what was hitting in a way, even though I was used to it. All of a sudden, as I was sitting there, kind of in the dark, I didn't mind the dark. All of a sudden, I felt something come around me and hug me. It was angel wings that was holding me, loving me, protecting me. And I can tell you that that moment when that happened, everything shifted for me. Now, reality kept going, moving forward, but myself, I stepped out of that victimhood a little bit that night, and that gave me a different strength. So with that as this angel came around and hugged me, blessings came. Because I can tell you within just moments that my husband came in and said he was going to be on the next flight out tomorrow. And We ended up going into the bedroom and he fell asleep right away. Luckily sobered up the next morning. But I can tell you that having those angels around me, those wings, was the greatest blessing that could have happened in that moment. So when you feel something again on your shoulders, just that hand, if you feel something that comes around you, and it's divine love, there's nothing like it. It's divine love. If you hear this really in your hearing, you hear this music that you cannot describe because it's angel song. If you just see this synchronicities happening and blessings happening in these moments, those are angels. Because I just named two of the main angels, but there's Gabrielle that will help you with conversation. There's Ariel, and she's kind of in a fairy way of herself, blessing. She brings just joy. We got Chamarel, who helped me when I was in Hawaii learning to do this professionally, and he was sitting in the corner waiting for me to start this new adventure. And Chamarel loves to help new adventures. And then I'm going to speak about the angel that I work with. He's my personal guide. He's one that works with me in deep. I work with Archangel Michael, Raphael, Gabriel. I work with them all. But the angel that I work interwoven with is Azrael. Archangel Azrael. He's more a celestial angel. He's not like Michael can kind of come down into the earthly realms a little bit. So does Raphael. So does Gabriel. It comes down here. Azrael works a little bit higher up in the energy because he is divine time. He holds time. He helps with time. That includes the time that we're on this earth. So he helps people cross over. He helps others come onto this planet. He helps with transition. He helps with major changes in our life. That's why he works with me, probably, because how many times can I have my life change and people go in and out of it? I'm not going to go there because cancel, clear, delete that. I'm done with that story. As we go through life, we have these energies and angels that support us. And Azrael is my deep one. And he wants you to know right now that no matter what is happening in front of you, no matter where you're going, there is hope. And he's saying that no matter where you're going to be in this lifetime, there's always going to be a miracle around you. There's always going to be a moment with you that as you work and as you go, trust that process. As life is happening, there's so many changes around you. No one can help you the way that you can do. So please look in the mirror and know that no matter where you're at, where you're going, love is with you, my dears. Love is with you. And let wisdom be yours. Because as you look in the mirror, you'll see how far you've come. And yet, the path seems so far in the future. Let that wisdom come, because every step you take gives you a chance to be here now. Because here now matters in this present moment. Be with you. And so, be with you. My love is with you, my dears. Trust the process, because the process is what's worthy of believing in. Love you so much, my dears, so much. Blessings to you. Oh. Sorry, I guess he slipped in there, didn't he? Yes, I do channel, by the way. So that was Archangel Azrael. And he really loves to bring forth the wisdom in you to help you. Thank you, Veronica. Believe. Yes, totally. Believe. And I love you capitalize that, because that is so much the truth. we have these angels around us that I only channel love, and that's how quickly that he slipped in, because the fact that I trust him. Knowing who we have around us can help us. Now, sometimes when I'm ready to park, guess what I call in? The parking angels. I call in the parking angels, and guess what? They help. And if you're needing help with interpretation, because sometimes I'm on a call with someone where they have accents that I don't quite understand, I call in interpretation angels. Technology. I've worn out the angels with my technology situations. Call them in. They can support you. Now, you may not find that things get totally fixed, but you'll get inspirations. You'll get these little ideas. Oh, I can try that, or I can try that, or I can try this, or I can try that. Believing who and what is around you can be helpful. So, with that, you know what? I think I'm going to do a card every time I talk. Now, I'm not going to, time is going to kind of go quickly here. So I'm going to, so now these are my angel cards. These are from Doreen Virtue, who I did some courses with her. And at the time, she was somebody who got me to Hawaii so that I can do the energy in Hawaii to do the work. Because Pele was actually the reason why I was supposed to be there. So there we have these ascendant masters, these energies of Mother Earth that are here to help us. And if we trust them, they can help us. Because I know one time I was standing at the cliff in Hawaii on the Big Island, and my girlfriend was doing some work with somebody, and I stood on the cliff and I wanted to look over a little bit. She said, "My dear, be really careful. We do not want you to fall over the edge, do we?" And I went, "Oh, no, 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 no." And another time, I went and sat on the beach. And as I walked on the beach, there was nothing there. I turned around and there was this big um, coral. Sorry, I had to look at it to get the word. It's not the one that's over my shoulder here. It's actually over on my altar here. But Pele gave me a coral because I turned around and it was there. When spirit helps you, spirit comes in. So the angels would like us to know, I'm saying, what would you like the people who are listening and the people that are going to listen? What are they to hear from you, angels? Celestial. Okay, so what she is saying is a happy move to a new home or place of employment is in the works. This movement will usher in positive new energy. So you have the angels helping you move forward into your next adventure. So trust that, believe it. Every ending is an opportunity for new beginnings. So like I see 9/11 a lot. 9 is endings. 11 is magical connection with the spirit. It's the 11/11 is the greatest time to have a prayer. It's like the quick version of where you're going. So 9/11, 9 with magical new beginnings. Oh, wow, I'm feeling like I'm going to be getting a new job. Yes, there's possibilities in that, Veronica. Look more closer early spring for that to happen. There's something about working through your holidays that there's something, and you need to get that little bit of that you're going to get too. So, and I know that about her. So that's not something intuitive I'm getting. But there's something about you kind of having that stability through the holidays. And then after the new spring, or once those buds start coming out, there's some new opportunity. Yeah. So with that, and it may happen before that. Remember, this is what I'm getting a snapshot now, but things can happen in different times. There's another card that wants to come out here. Also too, Ray, yoga and exercise are essential to your well-being, peace of mind, and spirituality growth right now. So, in other words, be physical. If you're going through something mental, be physical. If you're going through something mental, be physical. And a lot of us are working through our emotionals. When you're walking through the mental emotions, be physical to help you move forward. So with that as we walk forward now, we're going to walk through a little bit of the realms here real quickly here. So we've got the angels. And if you feel some love around you, or you feel these synchronicities coming in with you, and you ask for this help, that's the thing, is you got to ask many times, because many times they're sitting up in the corner. I can't help you unless you ask me. Now, there's times with the angels and those guys, they help when there's going to be like a car wreck and you're not meant to have the injuries and stuff, that they'll kind of lessen the impact, like they did with you, Veronica, when you had yours. They lessened the impact. And so with that as we go forward, that these angels do help out. Many times they help out in the universal timing. That's what I say. I need something magical happen to me in the quickest time, universally and spiritually, and human timing. I need this to happen as quick as possible in human and spiritual timing, because I'm needing some grace. And I did that with my relationship with my husband. And guess what? Within 3 weeks, he got a DWI, and he ended up having his most miraculous, life-changing moment. And now he's been sober for 9 years. Now, they couldn't help me right at that minute. They had to set things up. Remember, sometimes things have to be set up because they're dealing with us humans. And us humans aren't predictable because we have free choice, right? So when things don't happen the way that you would want them to happen, many times they're not meant to happen the way you want them to, but yet they're happening the way that we're meant to go forward in our lives. Okay? So now, let's talk about those crazy fairies. Oh, those crazy fairies. I love the fae. I love the fae. I love the elementals. I'm going to call them the elementals. There's another name that they're cryptics. That's what they use on TV. The cryptics, isn't it? And the cryptics are something that is unexplained. Well, I can tell you that right now the veil is really thin, working with the dimensions around us. And if you watch any of those paranormal shows, those paranormal shows will show you things that are kind of off. Like I was talking about on Monday, that there's this one show that there's these really tall, I mean, almost, they were probably taller than the power lines. Really tall stick creatures. Well, those are part of the elementals. We see a lot of the fairy, like there's another one where it's like, those are fairies. Now there's some that are, to me, the fairies are star beings of this planet. So some of them have that starish look to them. And so some star beings are part of the fairy kingdom. Crisscross. It's just part of life. And as we walk forward and as we manage and navigate through our lives, that I know there's much more I can say about this. There's more deeper places I can go. There's more knowings to be said. This is just a quick version of what's coming out of me at this minute. Okay. So with that the fairies. Now the fairies, they are pretty magical. They are pretty magical. Now, can you imagine seeing, I have to deal with my light bulbs here. Now, if you saw fairies going very fast, can you imagine that being a streak of light going across your yard? that it's in your camera. We also have kind of guys that look like this. You know, those gnome statues, they kind of have some truth about it. And we just have these personalities. This is a fairy deck that I just love because he really got the sense of fairies. So this is the fairy deck that I have that I am starting to reach into more because the fairies wanted me to know them a little bit more in depth. Now, I hear them, I work with them. So they're just different fairies, look different. Not one has the same look. They're characters. They're characters. And many a times we'll see out of the corner of our eye, because that's how you see a lot of things, is as if you soften your eyes to where you're really not focused and you see something out of the corner of your eye like, whoop, was that a cat? A lot of times that's our fairies, our fae. And we have these scenarios where we have them on the ground level, and then we have the flyers. So if you see orbs, and I said this on Monday, if you see orbs that are around your eye level and below, maybe a little bit higher up, and they're more colorful, and you'll see them usually more around the plants, that those are the fae. Those are the ones with wings. But if you see them going along the bottom, that they are usually more the ground guys. Now, I'm going to tell you that if you see darkness doesn't always mean dark, bad. Sometimes darkness is because they're not necessarily full of color. They're not necessarily full of color like some other ones are. Just like us, there's some of us that are pretty plain, and there's others that are got more color. And as we go through life and as we manage our life, that we have these beings. Now, I'm going to tell you that one of my children really dealt with depression, was really sunk in with it. And the room was always cluttered. I can say the same thing about me. When I was growing up, I was pretty depressed and very low self-esteem, and ended up having my room wasn't all that clean either. I called it underbrush because there's clothes under clothes under clothes. That as we go in life and as we manage, that these fae are there to help us. These elementals are here to help us. And I can tell you, I walked into the room and I saw some dark beings, me being intuitive, some dark beings in a corner. And I went, oh, what are you here for? Vacuum cleaners for the darkness. Vacuum cleanerish energy for the darkness. I went, okay, thank you. But when they got too filled up, then that's when I had to ask them to go outside and shake themselves off. And then they would come back in. Now, when my kid moved, they didn't move with my kid. So I ended up having to say, come, I've got another job for you. They climbed in my car and I took them somewhere where they can have some fun doing the work that they needed to do, because I didn't need that vacuum cleaner around my house anymore because that depression wasn't there. So many times these elementals help us have a job. Now, elementals, fae, my fae, they like to have fun with me. Like when I was in Hawaii, going to Doreen Virtues to see Pele, I lost my credit card got taken. No, it did not get taken by a human being. No, I did not lose it. Actually, the two people that were with me were like going, Natasha, I see you putting it back in a specific place every time. You are very intentful. Grab it, put it in that certain place. It's me who ended up not having it. Guess I needed to not spend any more money, huh? Because at that time I was working through depression and that kind of stuff, and money was easy to spend. I didn't drink, I don't smoke, I spent money. Another time was just recently. My glasses. Now I don't use glasses when I am doing my sessions, but I use glasses when I need to drive and do day-to-day life. And my glasses ended up being taken. What I got is that I needed to look at the 3D world a little differently because I'm seeing okay spiritually. It was the 3D world. How can I look at that a little bit differently? Well, what's funny is that when I said, okay, you took them. Okay, thank you. I'm learning my lesson here. Because I always take it as a lesson because like fairies, they'll trip you to make you sure you're grounded type of interaction. But I said, okay, if I don't get them by Friday, on Monday, I'm going to go get new glasses. Guess what? On the playground, a kid brought up my glasses on Friday at the last recess. It's pretty funny, actually. Another time when I was down in California, I lost it. And I said, okay, I get it. But I'm going to have to drive a lot in the next 2 days. So I need them back. Thank you for the witness. Because I know I went to bed one night with them on the nightstand. When I woke up the next morning, they weren't there. Found them in another room, somewhere where I don't usually go, on a counter. The day before I needed to drive a lot. So my fairies like to have fun and have creativeness with me. So I'm going to have this deck. Oh, isn't this? I love this deck card. Look at this. This is totally the fairies. Look at all those different characters. Look at this guy right here. Just all those characters. They're just so fun. Oops, trying to get out of light here. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle this deck and see what the fairies want to say to us. What do they want to say to help us for our future? Or where we're at, to give us some language of where we're at to help us move forward. Because as we go through life, we have these things. Even if we don't believe it, even if we don't want to believe it, they are around us and they are helping us. And if you want to believe, I'm going to kind of do this if I can here. Actually, I'm going to pick it up here. I'm going to move my camera here and go down here. So this right here is my little corner for the fairies. And if you look inside, if you look inside there, oh, sorry, trying to watch the camera and move my hand at the same time. There we go, get the right hand. I have things in that amethyst. That's the little doorways for the fairies to be able to navigate through life. So I honor my fairies. And if you see, there's all different stuff there. They're like little kids. They love to have the moment of support. Like if you can get them little cars, little shiny things. They love shiny things. They love chocolate, like Hershey's chocolate with the silver wrapping on them. Chocolate and the silver lining is they love bells, anything shiny and movable. They're just like, no, I'm not going to say you're like a cat, but they have that energy of, what's that? What's that? What's that? Okay, so a little side note there. That's a fairy for you. They like to kind of sidetrack you a little. What would you like for us to know? What would you like for us to know? So I'm actually shuffling the deck here, shuffling the deck. And usually when I pick a card, it's because they either fall out. Oh, okay, so this top card here I was feeling it. Okay, and I'm going to have to get the booklet. So here's the card. Shoot, that light is just in the wrong place. My camera. It's pretty busy. So there's a fairy with wings. And then you have all these different guys. Looks like a little bit of chaos, doesn't it? Well, I'm going to tell you, fairies are chaos. So 31. And I'm going to read this a little bit. So please have patience with me as I read. So 31, 27, 31. Undressing of a salad. Undressing of a salad. Balance, avoid extremes, achieve the impossible, being impossible. Brian called this painting the dance of the salad, but in the earlier stage of the bad fairies, it was the undressing of a salad. I've combined the names because they have shown us important aspects of the card. The dressing of the salad requires a good balance. Despite elements must blend into a tasty whole. The undressing of a salad requires truly remarkable adroitness. At first, one might think it is impossible, but whom we see busily balancing magical balls? It is the fairy doing the impossible thing. He is also the fairy of being impossible and the fairy of avoiding extremes. Sounding impossible? Well, of course it is. So, the starter reading. Things are in motion and the outcome is impossible to predict. A cool head is required to deal with this, as is readiness to jump in whenever direction seems applicable. Exercise cool judgment while staying ready for the unpredictable. Sudden change of future may appear good or bad, but they are in flux and can be rechanneled if necessary. Develop poise, stay calm. You can come out a winner here, but is likely to take considerate effort. Use power with dexterity and discrimination. LOL. Thank you, Warren. Fairies are chaos is a pretty accurate statement. Oh, yes, they are. They are. And it's so nice to see you here. Thank you for being here. So I'm going to read the card as it's upside down because I know a lot of us are going through something. So I read as the card is upright. Now I'm going to read the card as it's upside down. So reverse. Impossible occurs. Confusion happens. Lovely balls fall from the floor, and we discover that they are uncooked eggs. Sleight of the hand may be happening, and things that appear to be so are not, and vice versa. Misdirection may be prevalent. Attempts at over control may be contributing to the problem. Someone may be attempting unethical or unkind manipulations. However, it is worth the remembering that out of chaos, we can sometimes create miracles. After all, unity, card 1, created the whole universe that way. Isn't that a statement? Isn't that a statement? However, worth remembering that out of chaos, we can have somewhat created a miracle. After all, unity, the greater, our higher power, created the whole universe that way, out of chaos. And I know I can tell you that every time I had a chaotic moment, as soon as I came through the other side of it, oh my gosh, me holding that intention of chaos into miracles, I can only tell you that blessings happened to me. Blessings happened to me. I'm not going to say that it wasn't an ouch at the time. I'm not going to say that I wasn't going through the emotional roller coaster. I honored that part of it. But every time I held the space of saying there's a reason for this to happen and I'm believing in it, know what? It came out of it. I'm going to tell you, the day that my job at school ended in a position that was full time and I loved it and I felt very purposeful, and my cat passed away on the same day, I went, ouch. But I can tell you, as I sat in the principal's office and he was asking me to have another job, I saw the chance, even though I was going back on the playground, which was not necessarily my greater place, because me and the wind, my eyes don't stop watering, and it's very taxing. And standing out there in 30-degree weather with the wind blowing and the rain coming down is not all that fun. But that miracle gave me and led me to being more interactive with different kids. It gave me a chance to help kids with dyslexia that weren't being serviced in the reading program that I was in right then. And also, too, within 2 years, I was actually doing this job where now I am there part-time and I am here full-time doing this work. And now I have more time for my intuitive work. So the path didn't show itself right away, but I can tell you the path led me to where I'm at today. So believe in the chaos and the miracle that can happen. Blessings can happen. Blessings can happen. So I did not get a chance to talk about animals and how they interact with us, because we're coming down to the last minute here. But I wanted you to know that animals, too, come into our lives. They help us. So if you get a cat that walks in front of your path, if you get your dog talking to you more than normal, if you get a bird that flies by you, if you have a bug that walks in front of you, like a ladybug lands on you, or even a mosquito. Mosquitoes have meaning. Can you believe that mosquitoes have meaning? What's bugging you right now that you just can't get rid of and get a different perspective on it? That's what mosquito stands for. Hope you want to be with your guys here, don't you? Where are you at? There we are. Okay, so I'm going to pick a card for the animals real quick. Because the animals, what animal can help us through this moment? Because animals are very interactive. They're actually in the same realm as the fairies and the low angels. So there's the low angels, the everyday angels that help us, because we all have guides as angels. And then we have the archangels that stand a little bit higher. And you saw me earlier channeling Azrael. Didn't mean to do that, but he slipped in. That's how close I work with him. Okay, so here's the animals that want to help. What animal wants to say that we have strength to move forward with what we're going through? What? Okay, so it's this guy. My eyes went to this one right here. Wild boar. Wild boar. Isn't that a miracle? And it was upside down. So let me get this good bud here. So I use this medicine card, and it's and that's the author there. So wild boar. I don't work with wild boar, but if you get wild boar, okay, so I'm just going to go off what I get. Wild boar. So wild boar is tough. They are able to navigate ground level through things, right? They have tusks for protection. They have the skin that is tough. So it might be supporting us in getting a tougher skin. They also can wallow through the mud. They get joy wallowing through the mud. So how can we walk through the mud of life? Okay, that's what I was getting. So let me get to 48. 48. Quickly, this time. I want to honor the hour here. 48. Alligator. You know, I came back from California with an alligator medicine. That was nice. Okay, wild boar. Okay, so this is a quick version here. Wild boar teaches us to confront without fear. Ripping apart the denials that lies in that appear. Let me reread that. Ripping apart the denials and lies that appear. Testing courage, finding truth. Its medicine will remain. A part of every human path, marking its victories we attain. Okay. Okay, so if wild boar has charged into your card today, you are being asked to confront anything and anybody that you have been avoiding. Pay attention, embrace your warrior nature, and find a courage to confront your fears. Or are you being asked to confront a personal weakness or a career change? It is time to finish the projects that you abandoned and thinking it might be too difficult to accomplish. Confront your feelings regarding some situation that makes you nervous or causes discomfort, bringing yourself to peace and closure. If you are being procrastinating, wild boar is reminding you to quit avoiding the inevitable. In all cases, it is insisting that you be fully present and mindful of what is happening and why. If you draw this card, you are already posed in courage needed to confront all that life offers. Just remember where you hide that courage. Challenge do not simply vanish. Unless you are actively embraced your issues, you cannot reclaim your spirit energy. Half battle is won through the warrior's willingness to acknowledge and accept the whole truth at all times. So the card came out upside down. Thank you, Orrin. I just looked up and saw that you made a post here. Orion, thank you. I like the medicine card deck. It was created by a gentle energy and seems more consistent and helpful than some other decks. Yes. I do enjoy his deck. I like the intention that this deck was under. I use a lot of decks, and even though like Doreen Virtue right now is not necessarily believing in the decks that she made, they're my decks, and I love the intention that was made with them. So I have certain decks, like I said, that I don't do tarot decks. I do other decks. Okay, so since this was upside down, I don't want to lose track here. I don't want to squirrel off too much. But so it's upside down. So contrary. If wild boar has appeared in a contrary position, this could be a warning. Because you have been unwilling to confront some challenge, situation, or feeling, it is about to explode in your face. It could be time to evaluate any avoidance mechanisms. Denials can vanish when you confront them with unflourishing honesty. If some lie is present, now is time to come clean with yourself or another. Are you dishonest? Dishonored yourself by breaking a trust? Be strong and make amends. If you do not believe that you are brave enough to confront your mistakes and denials, quiet lying to yourself and acknowledge the entheotic power. Be horrible within. That was a lot. Sorry if it's misunderstood. Remember, you can call upon wild boar to help you cut through feelings of helplessness or weakness. These sharp tusks can cut into the heart of the matter and reveal the violent warrior self that you may have unwillingly abandoned. So remember that animals are here for you. I know for me, I use hawk a lot. I use hawk to get a greater vision of what's going on in the world. And then I use mouse. I use mouse to see the little details of what's going on. So an example of that is that one day I was looking out my front door and I saw an owl in the distance. And then in front of me, I saw a little ladybug going the other direction. That's an example of using hawk and mouse. I do hope that this quick version of what I said and boar You know, the remember thing though is that when you're getting a strong animal like this, that sometimes we can be coming on more powerful than we intend. So just remember that wild boar isn't always strong. It actually is a great mother. It's actually a great father. It's actually one that just can go around and be pleasant and finding food. So remember that boar doesn't say rush into something, bully into something. It's about taking and being aware of where you're at and what you're doing. I do hope that this gives you an example of where you can go in your life and who you can have help you. Because I'm telling you that, if I would not be me today without the angels, Mother Mary, Jesus, my personal guides, and I didn't even get to the personal guides. That as we go through life and go through these situations, ask for help. Go into surrender, go into trust, and then accept where they're guiding you. Because the fact that just like me that day when my job ended and my cat was passing away, and this cat of mine was just not an everyday cat. This cat held me for the 7 years before my husband got sober and the 7 years after. She was my familiar. Oh, miss you, Maya. That as we go through life, these animals, these beings, these angels, I did not foresee what the true meaning of that day was. Yet at the same time, I knew it was a journey that I was going to go on, and I was willing to walk it because they, my angels and guides, presented it in front of me, and I trusted that. And guess what? I am finally finding balance in my life. Home, the other job, this wonderful gift that I can do for others is more in balance. And I am forever grateful because that is the one thing I asked for was balance this year. Oh man, I asked for balance. My love to you. And if you are needing some help or wishing for some help or looking for some guidance and just managing how we are today, please don't walk alone through this navigation of emotions and these backpacks of I wish I could have that we have. Ask for help. We are here. We are here. Blessings to you. I'm Natasha Venter at angelicclarifications.com, and I'm available for sessions Tuesday through Friday. And I have some Saturdays if I have those kind of little pocketed if it doesn't work out during the week time. Blessings to you. Watch us next Monday at 4 and on Wednesdays at 4. And this is an idea of what I do on Wednesdays. Blessings. Bye now.